José Cabalfin Calugas December 29, 1907 January 18, 1998 was a member of the Philippine Scouts during World War II. He received the Medal of Honor for actions during the Battle of Bataan. At the age of 23, Calugas joined the Philippine Scouts of the United States Army and completed training as an artilleryman and served with different artillery batteries of the Philippine Scouts until his unit was mobilized to fight in World War II. After noticing one of his unit's gun batteries had been put out of commission and its crew killed, he gathered several members of his unit together, dug in and attempted to defend the line. He was captured along with other members of his unit and forced to march to a distant enemy prison camp, where he was held as a prisoner of war. When he was released in 1943, he was secretly assigned to a guerrilla unit in the Philippines where he fought for the liberation of the Philippines from the Japanese. After World War II, Calugas received a direct commission and became a United States citizen. Retiring from the Army, he settled in Tacoma, Washington. Calugas was born in Barrio Tagsing, Leon, Iloilo, Philippines, December 29, 1907. His mother died when he was 10, and he later left high school in order to work and support his family. 8 In 1930, he enlisted in the United States Army and received his basic training at Fort Sill, Oklahoma. Upon completion, he received additional training as an artilleryman 3 and was then assigned to the 24th Artillery Regiment of the Philippine Scouts at Fort Stotsenburg, Pampanga. While stationed at Fort Stotsenburg, he married and began to raise a family. His next unit was the 88th Field Artillery Regiment of the Philippine Scouts. He was a sergeant with Battery B when the United States and the Philippine Commonwealth declared war with Japan in 1941. His unit was mobilized for duty and sent to Bataan in December 1941. On January 16, 1942, his unit was covering the withdrawal of a portion of the U.S. Army Forces Far East USAF, with the 26th Cavalry Regiment of the Philippine Scouts and the 31st Infantry Regiment. Calugas was working as a mess sergeant in charge of a group of soldiers who were preparing the day's meals, known as KP duty. He noticed that one of his unit's 75mm M1917 field gun had been silenced, and its crew killed. Without orders, he ran the 1,000 yards 914M across the shell-swept area to the inactive gun position. Once there, he organized a squad of volunteers who returned Japanese artillery fire. The position remained under constant and heavy fire for the rest of the afternoon. While Calugas and his squad maintained a steady fire on the enemy positions, other soldiers had time to dig in and defend the line. As the day ended and combat subsided, he returned to KP.9 for his actions on that day. His superiors recommended Calugas for the United States military's highest decoration for valor, the Medal of Honor. Before he could receive it, however, all American forces on Bataan surrendered to Japanese forces. After the liberation of the Philippines in 1945, he finally received the Medal of Honor for which he had been approved at the beginning of the war. The medal was presented to him by General of the Army George Marshall. Calugas subsequently accepted a direct commission in the United States Army 9 and was later assigned to the 44th Infantry Regiment, which was assigned with the occupation of Okinawa. After the unit was disbanded in 1947, he was assigned to the Ryukyu Command, on the Ryukyu Islands in the South China Sea, where he remained until 1953. He was later assigned to Fort Lewis, Washington. Citizenship edit. Although he had been born in a U.S. territory, and had fought in the United States Army, Calugas was not a citizen. Following the Spanish-American War in 1898, Philippine residents were classified as U.S. nationals rather than citizens. The 1934 Tydings-McDuffie Act, or Philippine Independence Act, reclassified Filipinos as aliens, and set a quota of 50 immigrants per year to the United States, with the exception of those who joined the U.S. Navy, but not the U.S. Army. 13 While serving in Okinawa, Calugas completed the process of becoming a naturalized United States citizen. Medal of Honor citation. The action for which the award was made took place near Culas, Bataan Province, Philippine Islands, on January 16, 1942. A battery gun position was bombed and shelled by the enemy until one gun was put out of commission and all the cannoneers were killed or wounded. Sergeant Calugas, a mess sergeant of another battery, voluntarily and without orders ran 1,000 yards across the shell-swept area to the gun position. There he organized a volunteer squad which placed the gun back in commission and fired effectively against the enemy, although the position remained under constant and heavy Japanese artillery fire.